Okay, first off, I don't even know if I'm gonna use this. I don't even know. I don't know if this is gonna be of any use to me in the future, but I am going to try. I want to include all of you in this process. The Porsche that I am getting has actually been delivered, but not to me. I have to go and pick it up. So it is at the dealership waiting, and I am so excited, but I wanted to take this time to include you because now that the Porsche is on its way, I wanted to at least give some of the story. I'm going to show you the first car that I received when Hubs and I started to see each other. It is Audi Quattro. It's black. Listen. There's definitely a pattern here. There's definitely a pattern. I likes what I likes. Do you hear me? I likes what I likes. So the first car I was gifted, yes, it was a gift from Hubs, was my Audi Quattro. I love it. It's a Q5. I loved that car. I loved it so much that I drove it so much. It has lived a long life. We are currently in a process of basically upgrading. So we're going to see if we can trade that one in. If not, we will sell it because we've had it for so long. It has been such a fabulous car. But because Hubs already has the Porsche Cayenne that is a hybrid, it just makes sense to no longer have the Audi. Now, I say all of that to share with you this story. When Hubs and I started to date, we were going back and forth. He was visiting me and I was visiting him. And it was quite a distance. He got to a point where he just was like, okay, in order for this to work, we have to move in together. Now, mind you, I really wanted to save this story for potentially a future date. So I may not tell it all, but I'm going to share some of it. I'm just going to share a tidbit with you, okay? Because you know, if you've come here for the story, because that's what I do. He was just saying something has to give because we were spending a lot of time driving back and forth between the two of us. So he says, well, we need to move in together. And I thought, no, what are you talking about? Who in the world? Now, at this point, we've only known each other. I think it was like 3 months. And I was like, oh, no, I am a good girl. I am not going to just move in with somebody. This is what my mind was telling me. He said, what will it take? What will it take for you to move in with me? And I was like, I don't know. So of course, being the person that I am, listen, if you don't know Yvette Sojourner, you should know, I try to come up with the craziest things. So in order to self-sabotage, that's what I was saying. In order to best self-sabotage, I came up with, I think it was it 2 things? I think it was two major things. One was I needed a room for my closet because I knew a standard closet was not going to work for me. In my house, I had a full-fledged walk-in closet. I created one and it was actually two rooms. So I needed a closet. So one of the rooms that he had would have to serve as a closet. The second thing I requested was that I would need a vehicle. Now, mind you, I did not expect Hubs to come through on any of this. Do you hear me? I, as I stated, was trying to self-sabotage. So I told him a car. I need a car because there is no way I am going to be able to do the things I need to. At that time, I was driving a Honda Civic. Mind you, before that point in my life, I had owned Audi, I had owned Mercedes, I had owned all the cars, but life happens. I was in a Honda Civic and it was not living its best life. We were barely making it, okay? I called it the Lizard because it was green and the paint was kind of chipping. So Hubs was like, okay, that's interesting, right? Like, okay. So then we didn't talk about it anymore. And I just thought, yeah, I'm not moving in. That's just not going to happen because that's just not what I was leaning towards at that point in time. It was just so early still. And enough of that. So then Hubs came to me a couple times asking me certain things like, okay, what kind of car? And of course, because I know enough about cars and I had owned several cars, I was like, well, you know, it has to be a Mercedes or an Audi. Like, those are the two. And he was like, well, Mercedes, Audi. He would lean more towards a Audi than Mercedes. So maybe that. Then he said, well, is there anything else that you're wanting? And that was just it. I was like, no, just an Audi. Time goes by, and I think I have pictures of this. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not considering it. I'm just putting it out of my mind because I'm thinking to myself, this isn't going to happen. Like, nah, this is not. This is unrealistic. Hubs contacts me and he's like, okay, we need to go pick up the car. And I'm like, what car are you talking about? At that point, I'm just like, what car are you talking about? What are you talking about? Really? Like, really, what are you talking about? So then he says, the Audi. And I'm like, no, you're making this up. You're lying. This can't be, because who does this? Like, we go and we pick up the car, and that's when it became real for me. Like, oh my God, this guy is really serious. Like, he wants me to move in. He wants me to move in with him. So, of course, he got the car. He cleared the room so I can have my closet. And I was just like, I have to move in with this person because I said this is what I wanted in order for it to happen. We have been together ever since. I have not told you the story of how we met yet, but that will come later. For now, I thought that this was a good moment to share that tidbit about the car, because now I'm getting a new car, and the Audi, I can't even. I had gone through so much with that Audi. Like, I had lived my best life with that car, and now it's time to get rid of it. So it's like, oh man. It was such a great car. But I will show you a clip of this car. And I will also show you a clip of the Porsche Cayenne so you can see what Hub's car looks like. Yeah, how far we've come. I mean, it's just been such a journey. It has definitely been a journey. And this, once again, is another milestone that I am happy that I have someone who loves me so dearly that they would do this for me. But realistically, we're doing it together because that's how it works in our marriage. We do things together, and this car we are getting together, but it is mine. It will be my very first brand new car off the lot, which makes me cringe because in the past we have purchased used vehicles. That's just always been the preference because they depreciate so quickly. But it's interesting. It's an interesting feeling to be able to actually get a brand new car. Yeah, it's an interesting feeling. So that's the biggest difference. The Audi was pre-loved, and like I said, I loved that vehicle. I loved it. But as we grew together, we upgraded, and yeah, so it's time. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to trade this one in, hopefully. If they take it. If not, we'll still be selling it. In the meantime, in between time, I am going to change as I create these videos for you about this entire process. I'm using right now my DJI Osmos Pocket 3 to record, and I will be using that as well when I pick up my vehicle, just so that it's easier for me to record. Worst case, I will use my iPhone as well. So yes, that is the story of how it all began in a sense. And this transition between the Audi, Porsche Cayenne, and once again getting my own vehicle, that's very important to me, to have my own vehicle. It just has always been that way. and I prefer it. Just so happened Hubs and I both work from home. We work remotely. So because of that, we have been doing very well with the Porsche Cayenne. There's a story to that as well. I believe I will tell that story when I pick up my Tiffany ring because it's more fitting. But for this moment, I wanted to at least share that and show you the car that kind of started it all for Hubs and I. It's so funny to think back on it. I still am in utter disbelief. Even with this car, I am, because I'm like, I don't know, it's something. Hubs loves his cars. He just loves his car. Seriously. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? I am not going to refuse the car. And with the car I have now that we're picking up, it was actually between that car and a Mercedes G-Wagon. But I'm going to talk about that later. I'm rambling on because you know I love talking to you. So let me hop off here because we have to go ahead and get this car looked at. So until the next segment, today is the day. Today is the day. It's the day of the pickup. I am so excited. As you can see, my hair is wrapped up. Yes, still have to do that protective style in order to continue to moisturize it and yada yada yada. But today's today. So I have all the things. I've done a quick video, a clip of me and what I am wearing. I will insert that at some point. But yes, I'm so excited. Babe, are you excited? He's excited. I can't wait. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Listen to me. Listen. Yeah. You see the sun all up in my face. It's all up in my business right now. All right. Let's see what happens. This a little bit. I'm a little off. Let's see. Okay. Let's get adjusted here. Let's get adjusted. Just for this, I am going to be sitting in. Listen, if you do not know me, Yvette are joining here. Yvette are joining here. Welcome. Listen, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. How all this goodness is going to be spread across the YouTube first and the interweb. This is a place in a space where luxury meets authenticity. Listen to me. Listen to me. If you are new here, you may not know what's going on. But if you are someone who follows me already, you know, based on where we are right now, it has happened. If you're new, hop over to the YouTube community board. You will see all of the things. If you don't want to do that, hop onto my Instagram. You will be able to see what is transpiring. If you're one of my regular followers, yes, I picked up my new Porsche electric Macan on yesterday. I am so tired. I'm so tired. But still trying to look fabulous for all of you. Look at this. Yes. In my previous video, I had the scarf over the hat. Today I decided to do it under the hat so we could see what that looks like. This is my Hermes silk size 90 wow scarf. Yes, this is one of the scarves that I really wanted, had to hold off in buying, and happened upon it at my local boutique, snatched it up as soon as I saw it. I remember when it was released. It was released while we were in Paris last year. It was about the April time frame, and I thought I would not see it again, but got to my local boutique. It was there. I purchased it immediately. The unboxing of that is somewhere on my channel. You will be able to find it at some point. Now that is out of the way, let's get into some housekeeping. First things first, okay? I'm gonna say Porsche. I know some say Porsche, some say Porsche. Listen. I am not a car person, period, in general. So don't come after me. Don't. You can, but it's really not going to bother me at all. We've talked about the pronunciation of it. Today I am sitting in my new all-electric Porsche Macan Turbo. Yes, you heard that correctly. It was one of the vehicles that once I experienced sitting inside of it, even the look, I knew this was the one for me. At this point, you are fully aware of the story of Hubs and I and the Audi, and this vehicle basically is similar to the Audi in so many ways, just based on the color. I knew immediately when Hubs said that this was being released. I knew it was going to happen, for one, because Hubs is all about Porsche. Hubs is a Porsche person. I mean, his parents laughed because when he was extremely young, he said he would own a Porsche. And now look, he owns several Porsches. And that's amazing. That's amazing. I share that because I'm not a Porsche person. I really was leaning towards the Mercedes G-Wagon. I'm not going to lie. But Hubs was like, no, hence how I ended up with the Audi. But now with this, I knew we would go electric because he loves electric vehicles. He just does. So I knew it was going to happen. Once we got the hybrid Porsche Cayenne, it just sealed the deal for him. He knew what he wanted, and that's exactly what he sought out as far as me as well. He was like, you're getting an electric vehicle. I was okay with it. Yes, I gave up my dream of having the G-Wagon, even though they have the electric, and I was like, okay, they have an electric, check. He's going to go for this. Hubs was like, okay, yes, we could look at the G-Wagon as well. I opted for Porsche because ultimately we are Porsche people now. So I just followed suit. So here we are today. I am going to take you through a couple of the things or functions that I think are just stupendous and amazing so that you can experience that. But all in all, I am getting acclimated to this vehicle, so it's going to take me some time. I mean, the Porsche Cayenne is just bigger than this vehicle, so when I'm driving, I find myself wanting to really elevate my seat as though I'm in a Cayenne, and yeah, that doesn't really work, especially with the alternate reality HUD. I mean, it just will not work, so I have to adjust myself accordingly, and then the dashboard display as well. So right now I've elevated my seat so that I can see you, I can talk to you, because we all know the Investor Joiner is animated, so I have to do all the gesturing and talking. I'm not going to drive because I did yesterday. I am so tired, you guys. I am so tired. Listen to me. I am so tired. But I wanted to at least get this recorded and out to you so you know it did happen. It was amazing. I had so much fun. I will insert as many clips as I possibly can from the actual reveal of the vehicle. I mean, the team was amazing. It was just one of those phenomenal experiences that I'm happy that I was able to have. The other funny thing is, this is really the first, well, this is actually second, but this is the first brand new vehicle driving off the lot that I've ever gotten. We typically get used vehicles, it's just our preference, but under the circumstance, Hubs wanted to do something a little special. He sees all that I'm trying to do and wanting to do, and I am very appreciative of the fact. Now, this vehicle is all black. It is all black. Now, there are some bits and pieces that are not. They are more of a silver and titanium, but I'm okay with that. I will also share, we were able to experience the Porsche Macan Turbo at the Porsche Center, or the Porsche Center, when we visited for Hub's track experience. And we got into that vehicle, looked at that vehicle so long that they ended up locking the vehicle up. That was so funny. They did. I could not get in it anymore. But that was fine. That was fine. I knew when I saw it that it was the vehicle for me. I knew the color, the rims, everything. I knew what I wanted. It had to be silver and black through and through. Other little fine details that I really did not know or was not aware of. For instance, the windows. The windows in this vehicle are of such that it blocks the sun and so on and so forth, and they're heated. I think it's the windshield that's heated, but that type of thing I was not aware was even an option. This goes to show how old I am. I was just like, what do you mean? Because in the Cayenne, when I used to sit in the vehicle and stop and talk to our neighbor who's like 90 years old, I would leave and my arm would be like all tan, and I'd be like, why is this happening? Well, for one, I had the window down when I was talking to her, of course, but also, light was getting through as far as the rays getting through the window. So it's interesting now that they can actually assist with that. The other thing that Hubs is loving is the climate control. He loves the fact that there is an air quality system all set up so that it shows what the air quality is inside the vehicle and outside the vehicle. Listen, Hubs is not going to be driving my vehicle on a regular. I'm just going to let you know now. I've been practicing my nose. Listen, I love my husband. We share everything, but there are some things you just should not share. And one of those things is a vehicle, because we are very different people when it comes to how we care for things. So I am like, no, don't even think about it. I have to have my own vehicle. It's so important to me, and I do. So he is going to love the air quality. He's already obsessing over so many things with this vehicle. It is crazy. Whereas I'm just more laid back, because I'm just thankful and appreciative that I have something that I can drive that's going to be comfortable, especially when I'm driving to my Hermes boutique, because it's 6 hours round trip. But then in addition to that, just everyday comfort as far as knowing I have a good vehicle that I can rely on and that I can be comfortable in. Now, the seats in this vehicle actually have a massage option, which is crazy. It is insane. Why do we opt for this? For those longer rides. That's point blank. Hubs wanted to really just max everything out as far as the options on this vehicle, because it was for me, and I do appreciate that. I love the idea of it. It's just a lot to take in. That is why I'm so tired today, because when we were chatting with the team on yesterday at Porsche, they had to walk us through so many things that I call it the Porsche University. I felt like I left with a degree of some sort. Like, I left with a doctorate degree after yesterday, and I have to go back. Because you can't learn everything in a day. So we're on our schedule to go back for a second time, and that's more so for the different charging spots. So they have it set up that there's a system within the US that shows the different charging ports throughout the US. Now, what's also interesting is they have the same thing in France. So yes, we set ours up there as well. Hubs's dad set it up so he could do that with the Taycan there, which we recently got as well. So it has been a ride for me, and I am going to get some rest, but I had to at least get this out to you, share some things with you. I will insert a clip of the trunk, but I'm going to attempt. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to attempt a lot of things for you just so that you can be involved in it with me, but also just to bring you along. Basically, I'm going to attempt to do some things. I cannot guarantee it's going to work. We had so many fun experiences yesterday, even with the Porsche team, because they were like, oh, all you have to do is this. And then when we went to do it, it didn't work. I I had so much fun laughing. I laughed so hard yesterday. It was terrible, but we enjoyed ourselves. So instead of me trying to drive around and trying to attempt to talk to you as I do that, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to remain parked, and I'm going to show you a couple things. So let's get into that. As you can see, we have 3 screens. This one is for the co-pilot or the passenger screen, and then there is the main screen, and then the 3rd screen is behind the wheel. What is hilarious about having the co-pilot screen is I told Hubs if he ever drives my vehicle, which he will, of course, and he is speeding and he says, well, I'm doing a speed limit, I can easily check with cockpit, so I will be able to know what speed he's actually going. Listen, Hubs is, he transforms when he's driving. That's all I have to say about that. I'm not going to say anything else to incriminate myself. Now, let's go to the climate control. And as you can see there, you can see auto ventilation and so on and so forth. But what Hubs is in love with is the air quality. So you can see what it is inside and outside. Now, right now it says it's really good. But let me tell you, this inside of the car is very strong. I know people love the smell of new car. Listen to me. I know people love new car smell. Apparently, I am not one of those people because I have a headache for being in this car all yesterday. And it could also be the fact that I'm acclimating to how it drives. It is so smooth and seamless that I could see myself quickly getting tickets in this vehicle because how it drives is just crazy in comparison to even the Porsche Cayenne that we have. I swear to you, I have to be careful. So I will definitely not be playing any music while I'm driving. But this new car smell is out of control. I wish there was a button I could push that would swish it all out all at once, but that is not an option. So until I continue to drive it and it will just dissipate on its own, I have to admit it is very, very interesting because I'm like, I cannot really take it, but I will because I have to. So let's keep going. We paid for this clock to be on the dash. We paid extra for that. We also paid extra for the Porsche logo to be on all 4 headrests. Listen, he hopped into the car real quick because he had to help me with some things. It was a hot mess. First is the trunk. So I am not the best at opening up the trunk, and having to hold a camera, actually I was holding 2, made it even more complicated, right? So things are getting a little interesting. Opening the front, that is the front trunk, and I will insert the clip if I haven't already of that and how I was shown how to do that, and I had the Birkin 30, my latest Birkin 30 in there. Yes, that's also interesting. I have to remember when I'm doing that I cannot wear my wonderful pieces, unfortunately, so hence why I removed my ring from this hand so that I can easily just brush against it. It's the same thing with the charging ports. You just swipe your hand in front of it and it opens up. What else I want to tell you? I did want to show you the augmented reality. The issue is because with the camera, it doesn't pick up on it well. So what I will do is I will insert some clips of that. Oh, that is all I have for you. Listen, I just wanted to hop on here so that I can share that with you really quickly, really briefly. In my mind, this was supposed to happen so differently. I mean, I had in my mind clips of me driving and using the other car on a tripod to drive past it, all the things. But you know, I'm not a car person. So why would I even right now attempt to do that and only frustrate myself and also frustrate you because the quality potentially may not be up to par. I did want to hop back on here, hence why my hair looks different. I don't have the scarf on. Today was actually a wash day. Look at that. I don't know. Let me see if I can show you. Look at how wonderful those braids look. But today was a wash day, so I had to do something slightly different, and I figure I would still just toss on the hat. I forgot to mention the app, so I will definitely share some of the process when it comes to the app. When we went in to select the different parts of this vehicle to configure it, I do have some clips of that I will add in here so that you can see some of that. I said that the car it's black. It's black inside and out. I was incorrect about the trim. Listen, I said titanium because that's kind of what it looks like to me. But let me correct myself, because of course Porsche has its own name when it comes to these things, and it is called Turbonite because this is the electric Macan Turbo, I assume. I don't know, but it is called Turbonite. That is the trim. The windshields I did mention were heated. They are also thermally and noise insulated. So that's the front and the rear windshield. I wanted to point out as well, that is why I did not get a rear windshield wiper, which I was on the fence about anyway, but because of that coating being put on the glass for the UV and so on and so forth, they said it's not an option when it comes to that. And mentioning coating, let me also point out, we could have gotten this vehicle earlier than what we did, but because we got a protective coat and another type of layer of protection on the vehicle, that postponed it a little bit. It didn't push it back far, but just slightly. I am trying to do my due diligence just in case Hubs decides to hop on and watch the video and evaluate me as far as how I'm doing. So this is why I'm going to continue to move forward. Let me see if there's anything else. No, the color of the car. Now, the color of the car is jet black metallic. So it's not just a black, it's a jet black metallic, meaning there are metallic pieces in it. Only other thing I'm going to add is, so when the entire process began, we were signed up for something that's called Porsche Track Your Dream. And basically what you're supposed to be able to do is to see the vehicle or the process of the vehicle being made and so on and so forth. And it's in the app, it's in the Porsche app. I tried to do that. I was not really the most successful. I think that they had the wrong email address, but I can say that I did get email updates as well. So I was able to see like when the vehicle left the manufacturer, when it was preparing to be shipped from Europe to the US, when it arrived, so on and so forth. Those things I was able to actually track, and it was just saying this phase of the process has been complete. Now it's moving on to the next So that happened. It wasn't until after the fact that I actually went to the app and checked the emails, and at some point it ended up working. So I will share some of those steps that were offered that I wasn't able to access for whatever the reason may be. Other people, because I did some research and there were other people who also ran into the same issue, so I know it wasn't solely just me. So I was just appreciative to get the emails themselves because I knew what was going on, what was happening. Whereas in the app, it shows more details. So I will share that so that you can see the different phases and information that is provided. I won't share everything, but I will share several things so that you can get a feel for that. I do believe that that would have been a great experience and process as it was happening, especially for Hubs. For me, I just, like I said, I was happy to get the emails. Hubs would have appreciated it, and even after the fact when I showed him, he was really going through like reading every detail. So you know, to each their own. It all depends. So that is actually it. I just wanted to hop on here one last time. I swear to you, this is it. You are not going to really hear about this car. I say really because when we do our next road trip, of course, I will bring you along and I will tell you how it feels to be the co-pilot, to be the passenger in this beautiful, beautiful car. That is all I have for you. Thank you as always for joining me. I truly appreciate it. Until next time.